Hi, welcome to my channel Rubia's Teman. Today I'll be teaching you how to do this beautiful hat in Tunisian crochet. It's very easy to do. I hope you guys like it and give it a try, and here is the list of material you're gonna need to make it. If you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell. That way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my video in Spanish and English, so if you receive the Spanish video and you want to see it in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you will find the English version in there. To make this Tunisian hat, I'm gonna use loops and thread impeccable, 128 grams, 100% acrylic, medium 4, and the color is gold. The Tunisian hook is 6 millimeter. I bought this one in Amazon. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box below. This one and this type as well. These ones are perfect for circular hats and cowl or neck warmer. You're gonna need a pom-pom, a button, tapestry needle and scissor, and needle and thread to sew the button. I already have my hat like this, so I'm gonna work with less chains. For this hat I did 40 chains because we're gonna work our hat like this, okay? And look how beautiful this stitch, and it's very easy to do. So for you guys, it had to be 40 chains. That way you get enough length to fold the brim like this. So for mine, I'm gonna work with less chains. So just to show you the stitch of this Tunisian hat. So for you guys, you're gonna do a chain of 40. I'm gonna do a chain like 12. It's just to show you how we're gonna do this. The stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we're gonna do the regular Tunisian crochet. So if you have 12 chain, you have to have 12 loops on the hook. So for you guys that did 40 chain, you'll have to have 40 loops on your hook. So that's 1, and you go to each chain space and you draw out a loop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now you're gonna do a yarn over and pull that loop, the yarn over through the first loop, through 1. Now in every single space you're gonna pass it through 2. The one that you have in the front of the hook plus the one that you have that you cast on from this chain space. So you do a yarn over and you pass it through 2. Yarn over, you pass it through 2. Yarn over through 2. 2. 2. 2 at a time. Always 2 at a time when you do the yarn over. You see, when you do the yarn over, you pass it through this one and this one here. And you pass it through, that was the yarn over. You see, you're passing through that one and then the next one. So you always will have those 40 stitches, okay? So now, and instead of doing the regular Tunisian crochet that is going through the from strand, we're gonna go right through like doing a knit stitch. So you have the front and back strand. You see this one here, the first one, you have these 2 strands. So in the next one, if you look well, you have these two. You have the one that is sideways here, plus these two, they are like that. Okay? So you go in between those two, you pass your yarn through, and you have your next loop. Again, you pass in between those two and here, and you pass it through. Okay? Go in between those two. And like that, you're going to pass all your stitches. For me, are 12, for you, 40. All is through those two. In order for this to work, to have, we are doing like a, I forgot. Honestly, my mind went in blank. When I remember, I will let you know what we're doing. So you're gonna go, and here you see you have those two sideways strands. You're going to pass like this, you see those two, and you're gonna pass your last loop. And if you can, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And for you have to be 40. So again, we're gonna do exactly the same and the way back that we did in the row before. Like this, you pass it through one, and then two at a time. We're doing like a rib stitch is what I wanted to say. Sorry. Okay, you're gonna pass two at a time, and the repetition that we do is 3. We have 2 already, two row, and we do 3 to do this. Okay, this part in here. Okay, that's what we do, the lower part of our design, and then after we do the one that go up. So again, you're gonna do the same repetition, and now you will see better the stitch. You see you have one on each side. You're gonna pass in between those two, right to the back, and you're gonna pass through. Again, you're gonna pass through those two to the back. You're gonna pass through, and in every single one, you'll be doing this. Okay, right through, like you're doing a net stitch with Tunisian crochet. So you're gonna pass. You will have 2 strands. You will see it. And then between those two, right through to the back, you grab the yarn and pass it through the front. And you will have your 12 stitches for me and 40 for you. You can do this smaller, so you can stand as many chain as you want. Can be less, can be more, but more will be too long for a hat. So here in the last one again, if you look on the side here, you're going to pass it through those two, the front and the back side was like that. You see you have the 2 strands, and you're going to pass it through those 2 like that. Okay, and again you pass it through 1, and then 2 at a time. So that's the repetition. Now what we're going to do, we're going to close these stitches in order to do in the reverse side of the piece, because we're going to work this one like this and then the other one in the other side. So now what we're going to do, they are single crochet, but instead of passing the hook right through to the back, we're going to grab just that front strand like that, like the regular basic Tunisian crochet, and you're going to do your single crochet. Okay, so you go to the next one and you do your single crochet like that. You're going to continue doing your single crochet until you get to the last one. So this is the repetition that you're going to do over and over until you have the desired length. So this is the repetition of these 4 rows. 3 rows of Tunisian, 1 row of single crochet. So you have to make sure that this last one you do it through the side of that strand, like so, until you get to the end. So you have this one is 11, and then the side one again you're gonna do it sideways like this through those 2, and you do your last single crochet, and like that you finish this first part. Okay, now we're gonna work in this one that go up in here. Okay, once you finish the motif, because it's like a motif, and then you're gonna do the next one, it's the same repetition. You finish here with the last single crochet, you're gonna turn your work around, and you see you already have the first loop. So now we're gonna work in the single crochet, and in these little holes that you see there is where we're gonna pass our hook. So this is a repetition of row 1, and instead of working on the chain space, we're working in the single crochet. So that's the first one. You go to the next one, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and number 12 again is sideways like this, in this, with this, you know, behind those 2 strands. And you have your 12 loops. You will have 40. So again, you're going to pass it through 1 and then 2 at a time. Yarn over, and you're going to pass through those 2. You see, that's the one that you pass through. You're going to pass it through that one and this one, the yarn over that you're going to do through those 2. Yarn over passes through 2, 2, 2. And then you're going to continue until the end of your 40 stitches. Now we're going to do the repetition of 2. So the repetition of 2 is passing through those 2 strands, through the little hole in between. Okay, so you're going to pass it through that, and you pass it through. You have 2, and again, if you open like that, you will see that little hole in between these 2, and you're going to pass it through, and you will have your 40 stitches again. And this is row number 2. So it's very easy to do. So that's 11, and number 12 again is sideways like this, behind those 2 strands and the border. You're going to pass us through the first one first, and then 2 at a time. You always have to remember to pass through the first one just 1, because otherwise you don't want to have a straight edge. So 2 at a time. And now again, now you can see much better the 2 strands, the front and back. You see these 2, they're side by side now in here. So this is row number 3. You're going to pass through that first one, or the second one, because the first one is already out. So you have 3, 4, and you have to make sure that you pass it through these 2, not in between these 2, in that empty space, because otherwise you'll be increasing a stitch. It's between these 2. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then the sideways stitch behind those two strands in the border is number 12. Again, you're going to pass it through 1 and then 2 at a time. 2, 2. See, when you do yarn over, you grab that yarn over, you pass it through those 2, and that in the front is that yarn over. So you're going to pass it through that one and this one. Each time you do yarn over and pass it through, you're creating the stitch for the next one. So this is number 3. Now number 4 is a single crochet. You see how easy it is to do this, and it looks really, really nice and very, very warm. So you're gonna do your single crochet through that sideways strand. Don't go right through, because if you go right through like this, like you did the other ones, the stitch in the back don't gonna look the same. It's gonna look different, okay? You're gonna do your single crochet in that front strand only. So I think that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I counted wrong here at the beginning, so that's here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, yeah, it was 10, 11, and number 12 again is I was here behind those two strands in the side, and you do your single crochet, and you see you finish the second motif. And now we're going to work in the third one and the other side, because you turn your work around, you see it's going 1 in the lower, 1 up, 1 lower, 1 up. Now I'm going to show you one more time. So we have the first loop, so you're going to go to the next single crochet. You have 2, and you're going to go through. You see, it's like a little hole that you see in here. That's where you're going to pass your hook through. And when you do this part, you're creating that stitch here. That is this one. That look like a net. So I already tried to do the single crochet right through, and let me tell you, don't look the same. That's why I do that row of single crochet in the front strand. So here in the side, I'm going to pass it through the side in here. So now passes through 1. Always the first one is through 1, and then 2 at a time. When you do that, you give a nice straight edge in the side there. So when you're doing this, don't pull that strand too small, okay, this one. You have to give a nice space. That way your work is nice and even. And sometimes you will see that your work will look like you have wider in one side, and then the side that you're working, it will look much narrower. Let me tell you, because that happened with mine. I thought that I was decreasing the stitches, and when I counted all my stitches in my hook, I have my 40 stitches. Is that it looked that way, and after when I finished, I just stretch it out like that, and it was nice and even on both sides. Okay. So now again, I'm going to pass it through those 2 strands like a row number 2. And by doing that, it's creating like a net stitch in the front, and this part is like a purl stitch on the back, okay? That's the back of the stitch that we are doing now. what it look like. And you only have to make sure that you have your 40 stitches, that you're not decreasing or increasing stitches, okay? 11, and sideways here is number 12. So you're gonna pass it through 1 and then 2 at a time. So if you have to leave your work, I recommend to leave your work on your hook, all the stitches cast on your hook or the loops, or after you do your row of single crochet, okay? And if you need to count your stitches and which one you're working, you can see the next stitch. You have 1 and 2. Now I'm gonna work on number 3. Exactly the same as number 2. And I will show you on the other side where you can see much better that the entire motif is done. How you're gonna count them in here. So here you will see you have like 1 and 2 net stitch, and the third one is this one that have this stitch sideways, and then this one that you see in here is the single crochet, okay? So again, you're gonna pass it through 1 and then 2 at a time. And now we're going to do the row of single crochet. When you work in this, you have to make sure that you have even motif, even number motif, so 1 and 2, and then the next one 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. You have to finish with even number, because if you finish with 2 like this, when you sew them together you will have this gap flat without this in between, okay? Oops, I'm gonna do this one. So this is the single crochet. You go sideways like this, and you do single crochet. So it's very easy to do, and it looks really nice. And once you get the first one, the first section, you'll find very easy to do all of them. And the last one. Now again, you will turn your work around and you will work your stitches inside those single crochet. The last one is in the side here, and you see that's the sideway that you see there is behind that one where you're going to pass your hook, and then you go back and do 3 row, and then again the row of single crochet, and like that you're going to continue. You see, in this side you have 2 flat and 1 that go up like a little mountain, and in this side is the opposite. You have 2 little mountain with a valley. Okay, so for my hat, if you look at my hat, you see they're nice and even all the way around, and honestly you don't gonna see where the seam where I sew my hat is. So let me see if I can find it. Oh, here. I know, because it look like a beam wave, right? You see? But when you do this, you don't see the seam. So continue working with this. Now you will do that repetition This is where all is you working, this part in here. It look different here is because we work on the other side. Like that. So I will meet you here when you have the length for the circumference of your head. And I will give you the measurements when I'm done mine. For the length from the border to where the pumping, those 40 stitches will be 30 centimeters long, okay? The rest you continue working, and you can be measuring around your head if you like, or the person's head, until you have the desired length, okay? So I will be working in the hat when we meet again. I will have the length of my hat. Once you finish, it will look like this, and look how gorgeous this look. It's very thick, but not too thick, but it's tight, you know, like you don't have any little hole or anything. This for a very cold winter day is perfect, okay? Especially here in Canada, sometimes it's minus 40. That is Celsius. So now I'm gonna measure as best as I can, because you see it tend to gather. So to give you the measurements. Trying to open it a little bit. It's around 23 inches. You see, I'm not pulling too much. Around 23 inches, and 23 inches is 58 centimeters. So let me count how many repetitions I did. So I started here. That is the one that is like that. Okay, they have the tail and the flat like this. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 repetition. So now what I'm gonna do in here, remember you have to finish with the row of single crochet to close that border there. You will chain 1, and you're gonna cut a tail long enough to sew the 2 ends together and to close the top of your hat. So I'm gonna measure 1, 2, 3, 4, around 5 times. It's better to have extra and not enough. I did 5 and a little extra. Let me give it more because I just have this left over, so I'm not gonna do anything with it, especially like I said, to have extra. I'm gonna pass it through here, and now with the tapestry needle we're gonna close the 2 ends and close the top of the hat. Okay, now we're gonna sew the 2 ends together. As you look here, this is the one that we finish with the row single crochet, so you have this, it look like a chain. So the lower strand is the one that we're gonna sew with the one here from the chain that we started with, and we have to sew them nice and even, because we have 40 stitches in one side and 40 chain that we start with, so we can match every single one. That way it's even at the end. Okay, You always have to look for that stitch or that strand underneath. This one underneath, and here is the one that you always pass your needle through, okay? Once you know which one to pass through, it'll be very easy. So like this, you're going to continue all the way until the end, and you will have a very even piece, okay? And once you finish sewing, you'll see you don't going to have any seam. Once you finish here, it'll be nice and even. And then now you're going to pass your needle in a zigzag on that border all the way around until you get to the place that you started. Once you close the top and finish sewing your hat, it will look like this. Look how gorgeous it looks. Now we're gonna sew the button in the inside, that way we can pass the elastic of the pom-pom inside. When you remove the tag, do a very careful not to cut the elastic, because with elastic is where we're gonna attach in the inside. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do now. In the inside with needle and thread, you're gonna sew your button, not in the middle, because through the middle is where we're gonna pass the pom-pom elastic, and the side like this you're gonna sew your button. Do that and I will show you how you're gonna pass and attach your pom-pom to your hat. Once you sew your button with the hook, the Tunisian hook or a crochet hook, you're gonna pass it through the center, and through there is where we're gonna pass our pom-pom. Okay. So to the pom-pom, I only did one in around the button, but you can do 2 or 3. So it depends how you want it there. This is the leftover yarn from that ball of yarn. So with one of these is enough to do this adult size hat. So now I will put it on my mannequin and I'll show you the end result. And then here is where I did the sewing at the 2 ends. It's like being weaved, so really nice. So now I'll show you the end result, and it's nice and thick, perfect for the coldest day of winter. Well, this is the end result of this beautiful Tunisian crochet hat. I really love the stitch, and I hope you guys like it, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And if you make this hat and you want to send me some picture, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Esteban Crochet, or my Instagram, Ruby Esteban Crochet. Please share my video with friends and family, that way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day.